What if the future of horror isn't coming from Hollywood at all? What if it's coming from a 20-year-old YouTuber, a comic book writer, and a guy who made a movie for less than $1 million? Well, welcome to June, horror fam. And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Final Cut, your daily pulse in horror. Of course, I'm Travis, and today we're kicking off a brand new month with 3 stories that might say more about the future of horror than anything we've covered all year. Blum and James Wan are comparing today's horror boom to the legendary 1970s. A rising comic book creator is taking aim at Hollywood itself with a brutal new horror series. And one of Obsession's breakout stars just landed a major role inside the Marvel Universe. Let's get into it. Could horror be entering another revolution? Over the weekend, Blum and James Wan took to the stage at the Producers Guild Conference and delivered one of the most fascinating conversations we've heard all year. The discussion centered around 2 films currently dominating horror headlines: Obsession, killed it; Backrooms, killing it. Both projects were created by filmmakers who built their audiences online before ever stepping onto a Hollywood set. Obsession director Curry Barker is just 26 years old. Backrooms creator Kane Parsons is only 20. Somehow Kane seems older than Curry, though, whenever you see them getting interviewed. And according to Blum, that's exactly why these films matter. He compared the current moment to the 1970s, when filmmakers like John Carpenter, Wes Craven, George Romero, and Tobe Hooper helped reshape horror forever. Blum pointed directly at the success of Obsession, which continues making box office history after increasing both in its second and third weekends, a feat that virtually never happens, especially in horror. Meanwhile, Backrooms is expected to become one of A24's biggest openings ever. And that is a big shot in the face to everybody that hated on this the minute it was announced, which I still don't understand what the hate's from, but I know where. From Blum and Wan, the message is clear. The next generation of horror filmmaking isn't waiting for permission. They're building audiences first and bringing those audiences into theaters later. And honestly, that's probably the biggest story in horror right now. But my question for you guys, are we witnessing the beginning of a new horror movement? I think you could throw a Markiplier in there as well. And even Kreger, who was a YouTube person. So I think what we're starting to see is gatekeeping going away. And the reason why I always say that is look at some of the comments that some of the older directors, filmmakers, you have some that are loving this, but look at the amount of people that are hating this. So I think we are in a new horror movement. We'll just have to see how it goes from here. Stop hating though, man. It's the future. If you can't embrace it, get out of the genre. Let me know what you guys think in the comments ahead.
Finished my last horror game. Nothing left to play. Then I found Fanatical. Insane deals on games every day. Link in bio.
Speaking of the future of horror, one of the most exciting new voices in genre storytelling is taking direct aim at Hollywood itself. Writer Hannah Rose May has announced a brand new comic series called Fatal Fest. I just like saying that. Fatal Fest. Through IDW Dark. Say it with me, everybody. Fatal Fest. And the premise sounds like Saw meets Squid Game inside a horror film festival. The story follows 6 up-and-coming horror filmmakers invited to compete at a mysterious event called Fatal Fest. But there's a catch. To create true fear, they have to experience it. And if they want to win, they may have to kill for it. So it's like Hunger Games, Battle Royale, I think is the way we want to go with this. May says the project was heavily inspired by her own experiences trying to make it in Hollywood. That's terrifying. The series explores obsession, not the movie, ambition, exploitation, and the way creative industries can consume the very people trying to break into them. That has always been a thing and always will be. And if that name sounds familiar, it should. May is the creator behind Exorcism at 1600 Penn and The Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. Both became surprise hits in the horror comic world. In fact, The Exorcism at 1600 Penn is already being adapted by Blumhouse Atomic Monster, and Fatal Fest sounds like exactly the kind of horror satire genre fans love. It just got such a 80s or 90s extreme Fatal Fest, right? Honestly, the idea of filmmakers fighting for survival inside a horror festival feels a little too realistic at times. So, my question for you guys, would you read Fatal Fest? I know I'm going to read Fatal Fest. Let me know your answers in the comments ahead. And not comics, comments.
Streaming had nothing worth watching. Then GRUV showed up. New Blu-rays, new steelbooks. Physical media I actually own. Link in bio.
And finally today, the Obsession train keeps rolling. Not only is the film continuing its historic box office run, but one of its breakout stars is officially joining the MCU. Michael Johnston, who plays Bear, our lead in Obsession, has been announced as the voice of Nathan Summers in season 2 of X-Men 97. They just now coming out with season 2 of that? For longtime comic fans, that's a pretty big deal. I would have thought they would have been on season 3 by now. Nathan Summers eventually becomes Cable, for those of us who are, X-Men hawks from back in the day. One of the most important characters in X-Men history. True story. The upcoming season appears poised to explore different timelines, alternate realities, and deeper mutant mythology. That means Johnston could end up playing a much larger role moving forward. It's another example, and doesn't Josh Brolin play Cable? It's another example of how quickly things can change in this industry. A few weeks ago, many horror fans were just discovering Johnston through Obsession. Now he's stepping into one of Marvel's most beloved franchises. Not a bad month at the office. The question now becomes, and this is my last question for you guys today, how many more careers is Obsession about to launch? But all those young actors and actresses are already busy. So you'll see. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments ahead. Today's take. If today's episode proved anything, it's that horror has always been at its best when new voices kick the door open. The old model was simple. Move to Hollywood, find an agent, starve, hope somebody notices you, starve. Today, a creator can build an audience from a bedroom, release content online, and end up directing a theatrical hit, or they can release it from their office. It ain't even got to be from the bedroom. It could be from their office too. Remember, the Final Cut movie. Where we at, people? I'm waiting. Whether it's Curry Barker, Kane Parsons, Hannah Rose May, or the next creator we haven't heard of yet, the barriers are changing, and horror continues leading the charge. That's exciting, because it means the next great horror filmmaker might already be making something right now. And they might not be anywhere near Hollywood. With today's Spotify poll question, who is shaping the future of horror right now? Online creators and YouTubers, traditional Hollywood filmmakers, independent comic creators, horror game developers? I think it's all of them. Vote now, though, and let us know. And as always, if you got a horror story, trailer, project announcement, or breaking news tip, send us a DM at HMUNCUT. Your story could be featured in a future episode. That's going to do it for today's episode of The Final Cut, your daily post in horror. It's your boy's birthday week. Birthday coming up on Friday. Let's go. If you enjoy it, and there's and scary movies coming out, this would be great. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you're following, subscribed, and share the podcast with your fellow horror fans. Follow Horror Movies Uncut across social media at HMUNCUT. You can follow me personally at Travis Nyquil. And if you like to help support independent horror journalism, check out our Patreon. Until next time, you guys know the drill. Keep the lights on.
Want real horror coverage? Horror Movies Uncut. Smartest reviews, best interviews, no fluff. HMUncut.com. uncut.com.